All right, it's time to talk tourism. Now, as you know, this weekend, the event is back that everybody's been waiting for. It's the South Beach Wine and Food Festival. This is an event that brings people from all over the world, and it's right there on the beach in Miami Beach. Last year, we talked to the people that make it all happen. Let's take a look back and look at that interview and a little preview of what's to come this weekend. Michael, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Gerald. It's my pleasure. I'm honored to be here on the show with you.
Oh, we had such a great time at this event. First of all, tell me the official name of the school.
Well, I'm the Dean for the Florida International University's Chaplin School of Hospitality and Tourism Management.
And I'm so happy to know now that your biggest event of the year is this South Beach Wine and Food Festival, which we just did 2-3 days down in South Beach with you, and this event is unbelievable. Let's give me some numbers. Talk to me about this event and what it's become.
Thank you. So it is an annual event, and this is the 23rd year that we've held it on South Beach. It actually started on the FIU Biscayne Bay campus back in 1997 as a single-day event, and we held it on campus on Biscayne Bay for 5 years before moving down to South Beach. And it grew from a one-day festival where we had maybe 400-500 guests into this massive 4-day festival with 65,000 guests. Over the span of 23 years, it has raised in excess of $38 million for the FIU Chaplin School of Hospitality and Tourism Management in support of student scholarships as well as operations for the school. So we're very, very pleased with how it's performed.
It is unbelievable. Now, we've been to wine festivals all over the state, but I'm sure a lot of people want to know, how in the heck did you do this? How did you make this happen?
Well, I can't take the credit for it, Joel. Really, the mastermind behind this is Lee Schrager. And he's the guy who said to us, look, you guys got a great thing going on here, back when it was a one-day festival called the Florida Extravaganza on FIU Biscayne Bay campus. But I said, if you want to grow it, you have to put it down where people are. And he said, you got to move it down to South Beach. And that's what he did. And then he's the mastermind. He said, one dinner and some wine tastings, that's not quite enough, but let's expand it. Let's do more dinners, intimate dinners, and let's do some events on the sand. So we built these massive tents, and we've constructed the Grand Tasting Village, and then we had different events on different nights. We added a tribute dinner. So, and it takes an army. There's a full-time staff of about 12 FIU employees that works on this year-round with Lee. And then about, I'd say 2 months before the festival begins, that 12 FIU employees expands to close to 50 full-time people, contractors. And along with that, there's about 1,500 student volunteers that make this festival successful. So it's massive, massive effort.
I gotta tell you, as I was walking around, I loved seeing the students involved, and they get to be there and be a part of the whole event. And they were working hard, by the way, in the sun and the heat. And they all looked pretty happy to be there. One of the things that definitely helps you with this event is this partnership with the Food Network. I don't need to throw out names, or I mean to throw out names, but I went to the Guy Fieri big dinner party, right, that you know about, and a couple other events with Food Network celebrities, and I saw them all over South Beach while I was there. Now that's incredible, this partnership, and they're loving it, huh?
Yeah. We get some really good partnerships through Lee, of course, and the Food Network chefs support this. Like Bobby Flay, Guy Fieri comes back every year. Same thing with Rachel Ray, and Aaron Sanchez. Comes and does his tacos and tequila. I think it's just amazing. And
this is the Guy Fieri big dinner, and it was unreal, right? So he invited, I think, 30 of his favorite restaurants. He's been on the air for years. 30 of his favorite restaurants were there serving the food that they cooked on his show. In addition to that, there was booths that had some drinks. There was booths with information. There was all sorts of things to do. This tent that you have this in has got to be this. It's the size of 2 football fields, I think. I walked it several times. Big music stage.
It's not just all about wine and food. It's also education happening. We do wine seminars, but really I think probably the best part of it, the most rewarding part of it, is the experiential education that our students get out of this. They're involved with the the recruiting piece, the food preparation, the logistics, the marketing, the event promotion, all aspects of it. It's just incredible, the hands-on experience that they get.
I love that you say that, because in a second I want to start talking about this next generation of hospitality workers that's coming up, because I find it fascinating to know who's entering this industry. But I saw your students, especially we went to the grand tasting on the beach, and here's a little more footage of that, but on the beach, on South Beach, and this again was an enormous event, and it was vendors of wine, cooking demonstrations put on by the Food Network celebrities, and just thousands of people, I guess, hundreds of people just on the beach. And there were smiles everywhere.
Absolutely.
I love it. All right, so I'm so happy to have you here for this interview, because I want to talk to you about that. But I think what a lot of our viewers also want to hear is what you see coming down as our future here in this hospitality industry. You're training the next generation. Are we in good shape?
We are. We definitely are. We have a very bright future. And I say that because the student volunteers that we have, and it's not just the volunteers themselves, but also because they're students at the Chaplin School itself, they're very driven. Now, this generation of students, they definitely know what they want. They're looking for the next step, and they're willing to put in the hard work to move forward. So we're very, very pleased to see that kind of strong work ethic that comes out from them. They're also very entrepreneurial, so they're not afraid to try new things. They're always willing to take on more responsibilities. They have incredible technology skills, and communication skills as well. So I think we're in for a very bright future for sure. True, there's certainly the perception that it's a generation that wants immediate gratification, which is true. But I think being able to show them what the next step is in their career path, that's the gratification, and that's what they're looking for. They don't want the uncertainty. They want to be able to know that if they come in and they start this position, within 6 months, a year and a half, what's the next job, what's the next opportunity for them. So I don't think it's necessarily a not wanting to put in the work. I think they just want to know what's the next step.
I love that. And that's one of the interesting topics, is that job market out there. So, and that's a good thing that they want to grow and move on. So you might start, and that's a great thing about our industry. In hospitality, you can start at any level, even at the very entry level, server or anything in a restaurant, hotel, amusement park. And you can really rise up and make a good career out of this.
Absolutely. They're willing to put in the hard work, and they're willing to take the risk. As I mentioned earlier, very entrepreneurial mindset. Certainly a lot of passion in what they're doing. I find that the ones we work with at the School of Hospitality, they're in it for sure. They're in it for the passion. They really love what they're doing. They're not just testing the waters, looking to see, what's around the corner, anything like this, but they're very, very passionate. Oh, and incredible people skills, for sure. They're always smiling. This year we started the green team, which we were really pushing the whole recycling initiative at the festival. I've never seen so many student volunteers so happy to stand around recycling bins and helping our guests sort the leftovers. So I said, it's just incredible.
I saw it. I witnessed the whole thing. It was unbelievable. And what do you see? What is the industry doing to try to help bring these people in? And we have a lot of people in the industry that are watching our program on a regular basis. So what is the industry doing, or what should they do to get these students involved?
I think giving them opportunities and letting them take some risks, and of course, letting them fail. In that way, then they learn from their mistakes. But most importantly is giving them the opportunities and letting them take some risks. And all of our students have to complete an internship. And sometimes, we find some employers are looking for more experience and it's not willing to let somebody newer without experience try. And this is where I think our industry needs to give them a chance. Through the festival, the students are getting great experience working with chefs. Some have never worked in kitchens before or any kind of food preparation, and they find out that they do great. One thing I should mention too, last year we started a program with the neurodiverse community. So students who have autism or on the spectrum. And we found that they are incredibly jovial, happy, follow great directions, as long as they have repetition, right? They have the practice. So we started a program training students with autism in our kitchens, and then we put them into volunteer positions at the festival, and they thrive. They have such a great time, and there's so much positivity that comes out of this.
That's fascinating. Break it down for us for just a moment. In terms of your school, what are the majors, or what are the things that you can focus on that you can learn at your school?
So we have a bachelor's, and we have a bachelor's and a master's degree. Both bachelor's and master's in hospitality and tourism management. Within the bachelor's degree, you could major in lodging, restaurant, culinary, event, entertainment management, beverage management, spirits, and then we also have a separate Bachelor of Arts in Global Sustainable Tourism. And then within the Masters, we have some very specialized options like cruise lines operations management, revenue management, hotel real estate, and also just a general Masters of Science in Hospitality and Tourism.
I like it. I just saw some numbers recently. Like apparently we're all back from pre-pandemic hospitality job numbers. Apparently we've gotten all the jobs back, and no industry was hurt worse than hospitality during the pandemic. I mean, is there anything you're worried about now that keeps you up at night?
I don't know if there's anything specifically, but I would say that hospitality and tourism industry in Florida is growing at a much faster pace than the rest of the country. In Florida, the projection between now and 2030 is a 23% growth according to the Department of Labor Statistics, just in Florida. The rest of the country is about 7%. So we're growing at a much faster pace. If there's any worry, it would be the supply side of it. But I'm confident that, with support from the industry, with support from folks like you, we're able to get more and more students in, and also be able to feed the demand in hospitality within the state of Florida.
I tell you what, I mean, Florida is wild. It just keeps on growing, more tourism, more things happening. So it's a good state to be in. Tell our viewers one more time what can they do to either be a part of what you're doing, or to hire the new kids, or what's your advice?
I would say come out to the South Beach Wine Food Festival next year. You have to experience it. When you come out and you'll see, just imagine 4 days in the sun, and it's not always on the sun and in the sand. There's also the dinners that we do in different restaurants up and down the South Beach. But you'll see the impact that you're making on our students and how happy they are to be in this industry. It really is positive affirmation for our student volunteers that they've chosen the right career, and you're supporting us with that too. So that's definitely next year. Come on and join us at the South Beach Wine Food Festival.
You're inviting more people. Are you sure you got enough room for everyone? I mean,
It's always the third weekend of February, which I believe next year will be around February 20th, if I remember correctly. It'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's awesome. All right, Dean Michael Cheng, man, this has been great talking to you. I think it's so interesting. You got this whole new wave of people coming into this industry. They're young, they're vibrant, and it's going to be so interesting to watch what happens as they start to make their mark. So it's pretty interesting. Any final thoughts from you on any of the stuff we've talked about?
Hospitality is very dynamic. I'm very, very passionate about it, and of course for our students as well. So definitely any support that you can provide, we always appreciate it. Like, I'm a firm believer in supporting our industry. I go out to eat way more often than I should, supporting our industry, even during the pandemic. It's certainly a thriving industry to be in. So absolutely.
That's awesome. We're lucky to have people like you leading our students and our future leaders. So we thank you for everything you're doing. We thank you for joining us. And that is going to wrap it up for this Talk of Tourism segment. And we'll be back in just a moment.